potentially decide to transition. This should be the end and should be about another half hour between everything. Now we have Mickey's ridiculous walk, which you can't lose, but which can be annoying to get through as well, just for the pace of it. Mickey finally gets to do something, especially under your control, so he feels like a powerful wizard Keyblade master he's supposed to be.
Riku! Oh no.
Seriously, all of them going through all of this, though, while Sora's busy fighting in Scala at Kylum. They didn't look like they had that hard a time of it when they show up, but, you know, whatever. They had to pad out Remind. Was it worth it? We'll get to that, but this part of it, again, in equal measure, it's super annoying and super kind of cool. Because Mickey gets to do something, but it's a silly minigame you can't really lose. I've been knocked down multiple times and haven't had to redo it, but just slows it down.
I have to get closer.
Then all you do is you just keep holding up. And then mass X so that when the time is right, you return. That's all it is. So you basically just hold forward this entire time. Then it gets a little bit trickier because they start to have the attacks. And you have to do it right in time to get rid of the... or else they blast you and deplete your health again, and then you have to stand up again. Kind of a pointless minigame. I really don't see it unless they just wanted to give Mickey a chance to show off. But they didn't think that he'd be that good at attacking. Whoops, I attacked too many times. Because again, I was expecting about 3, because that's usual. I don't know if it's random or my memory isn't that great. It's been forever since... Phew! I was lucky that time. But I got knocked down, but I just get up again. Yeah, I totally blew that by doing X instead of the triangle, but still he was just knocked down.
The bond we share will give me power.
There, I entered the final phase successfully. So yeah, I don't think you can really lose that. It just delays the time coming in if you mess up, which makes it just so annoying. And then we have super pointless minigame, but at least it's super easy. Find the keyholes. Mash X to gain more power. More power. Power overwhelming. Enduring faith. Reaction command.
We are. All of
I'm not a big fan of interactive cutscenes. In some ways, they're kind of cool, but depending. The one with the Keyblades was barely the giant Keyblade storm that Sora got to ride was barely palatable, barely barely able to stand that one, and it was pretty super simple and basic.
You?
I'd almost rather just see the
I traced
cutscene
the
play out
connection
than you have to
from me
interact with
to
it to do
Riku,
things right. And if you
then
mess up,
Riku to you. That's 7. All the lights I needed, including yours. I'll handle the rest.
it's a real double-edged sword with those kinds of things because it can give you involvement and sometimes can reward you. But if it's difficult and you mess up, especially if you can't do it again, but they still let you pass just with less reward, it can feel like you were cheated out of something. If they're super duper easy, it's like a whatever. Like some of the I think in particular of Junon in Final Fantasy VII, when you have to do the presentation before Rufus with the squad. The one right before it is as well, but it's quite a bit random and a lot more difficult to reach the very highest points, so it's kind of random, so it's a whatever. But especially getting the
Where
sword
am I?
with in the when you're doing the just the personal squad maneuvers
That
is
light.
pretty easy, so it's not bad.
It's the
But you
kid's
think of
light.
Final Fantasy IX with the stupid early game battle scene in which you have to do up one of 8 different button presses correctly, and you have to get all of them correct in order to however many they are, 50 or 100 or something.
That's it. I'll just connect this light.
And you're rewarded greatly if you manage it, hugely, 10,000 gold. But if you know about that and you can't
Gotta
do it,
aim
you
it
feel
just
like
right.
you can spend some time frustrating, and if you give up, it feels like you lost out. So it's hard to say whether that's a good one or not. This one's doubly stupid because you're supposed to hit ones that are particularly shining, and that creates more of a chain combo to fill this keyhole. But it's not like accuracy matters, and for time-wise, which is the biggest thing you're looking for, it's still fastest just to mash like this rather than search and try and aim for specific ones that are shining. You just get enough, and it links them all. This one started out good, but now it's hit a couple of bad ones. It looks like they should be shining, but I haven't seen them. That seems like I failed a lot more than I ever remember having to fill before. So really, what's the point of that? This seems... They get progressively stupider. That one is really fun, but it's absolutely the first one where you're fighting as a team, but it's frustrating the fact that the bars mean nothing. They're a lie. And the fact that they're such a huge lie makes it, and that it's so long and you die and you have to restart the whole thing, makes it unbelievably frustrating and stupid. Mickey's, at least you can't lose, but you have to have precise timings with weird things, and then you have to restart if you fail smallly, and it just feels kind of dumb. The only thing that salvages it is that it's Mickey, who otherwise doesn't hardly do anything in the series, really, though he's supposed to be great, but who you never get to do anything with. And then there's this one, which also kind of doesn't make sense.
Kairi?
It's filler to fill up the last part of this journey to restore Kairi, and it doesn't really feel like it's that big of a deal. And then the 7 become the 5-leaf flower with 2 extra leaves underneath or something. I don't know. It also does make sense. Nice callback to the KH2 keyholes, though. It's even got this same... I wonder if this world that he enters that becomes the background when he does this has a specific name as well. This is also the world that's present around the arena where you fight Roxas in KH2 Final Mix. So I'm sure it has some sort of purpose, but I don't remember ever seeing or hearing about it somewhere. And now, once again, I have to point out that we have Kairi flying through space scenes, and so they have to use clever camera angles to prevent us from seeing up her skirt, which wouldn't have been a problem if they wouldn't have given her a skirt. You know, even Aqua has pants, so... Going into battle, Japanese love having girls in miniskirts going into battle. I don't know what it is about that, but an anime staple and video game staple too. Shoutouts to Final Fantasy Type 0, where they're all, even more so than in Final Fantasy 8, students in a battle academy, and so they all have those sailor-style uniforms.
Are you ready for this?
Huh?
Interestingly enough,
Yes.
most of the female characters in that fight in such a way that you can't see up their skirt, with the exception of Sank for some reason, who whirls her club around and makes her skirt fly and falls in awkward positions. 7 uses the whip in crazy ways. That is 7. Cease with the scythe, I think. It's been a bit since I played it. But she wears shorts, so... And now finally the culmination. This is the satisfying finish to this, that you get to have Kairi finally do something other than play the out-of-water little girl. Because all throughout all these cutscenes, not only was she just grabbed by Xemnas the entire time, as if it was nothing. Goodness, give me a chance here. Please work. It certainly works. That throw and teleport to the blade is awesome. Now you get their dual tech. Except for the one scene they added in Remind where she attempts to attack Xemnas and does some hits to him and forces him away before things go badly. She has a really cool shot lock too, almost as good as Infinity Circle. Dashes aren't bad. When I first was doing this on Proud, I couldn't do it either. This is a pretty darn tough fight with Kairi. She's kind of fun, but she's still lacking a few things. That's why I went for critical with the easy codes, because it gives me the chance to do this with high difficulty and not be too overly frustrated spending forever on it. Except for the really stupid minigame. I got this far on my first play on Proud Mode of this. And trying to avoid all these things killed me with Kairi, and I gave up. Was like, I want to finish this before too long, so avoiding these meteors.
Kairi!
And now the cinematic finish. And now, one final everybody seed, even though this is out of time and everything else. And kind of surprised that they gave me back regular Sora with his ultimate Keyblade when I just won with Kairi. But all those other cutscenes, they had to have generic Sora with the Kingdom Key. And everybody's confused, like, why were they there? What were we just doing? I do not understand.
My friends are my power.
Answer, it's like time travel stuff. Don't worry about it. And now, generic Sora with the Kingdom Key for this moment. But once again, revisiting the final ending. Which is why I ended the last episode when I did between loads and restarted it, because I knew that this was going to be another ending sequence. It should have been close enough. And now we get to see the slightly edited ending to everything.
Where are Sora and Kairi? They were here.
They were. But as long as they're together, they'll be all right.
Huh? Now, let's go follow Sora's heart.
Another item slot unlocked. Too bad they didn't give me another accessory slot. The world of ocean and sky. The world of Kairi and Sora.
It's so pretty.
In English, even though it's probably the closest translation as well as the easiest to fit with the voice, I've always thought that
Kairi,
her expressing it like
come
that
on.
sounded a little bit too
Everyone's waiting.
kiddie and childish. In English, once she's grown up a little bit, an older,
What's wrong?
mid to older
Well,
teen rather than a kid
my
would
friend
call
should
just
be
call it
here,
beautiful and not
but-
pretty. Something like this especially. But in
Hey!
Japanese, they still would, so that's
Chirithy!
why they use pretty. Kire rather than
Whoa!
I can't
Hey,
think of
why
what
didn't you
the
say
word they would
something?
use for beautiful right now.
I was just trying to give you some privacy.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, likewise. I'm glad
Yeah,
you're
Sora's still a
okay.
little too innocent for needing the privacy.
Chirithy, we're heading home. You should come with us.
What?
Take it from me. It's not enough to wait for someone you care about. It's true that hearts are connected wherever you are. If it's impossible to be together, then all you can do is wait. But if it is possible to be together, then that's how it should be.
Sora.
You know, this really is a beautiful place, but you'd enjoy it so much more with someone you care about. Before, when I was looking around with Kairi, I remembered how important it is to share moments with friends. That's why you're coming with us. I'm taking you to see your friend, Chirithy. Okay, let's go.
And now got to mute again. And once again, we see the ending. At least we didn't have to see the whole Xehanort and Ericus thing over again. Instead, we got them there for that nonsensical, wait, Sora and Kairi were just here, though they shouldn't have been. I'm very confused as to what's happened. None of it makes sense. It was all kind of just added in, retconned or something. But and then Sora and Kairi's moments with Chirithy. And now we'll get to see the slightly edited version of the ending. Where we get to see how those two were putting everything right on sidelines in all these locations. Or at least they're where they were in all of these moments. That they were in all these moments. They brought Chirithy back to Ventus, since it's his Chirithy. As the extremely large Twilight Town crew gathers, extremely large, you've got the base 358 over 2 trio, base 3 trio, is doing that, but the 358 over 2 trio, plus Lee's original friend, Isa, and then, oh yeah, the other Twilight Town kids, who are with Roxas at the beginning of Cage 2, so that's a big group of 7. And while they're all there, all with their sea salt ice cream, also eating sea salt ice cream, Sora and Kairi even higher up. And at Radiant Garden, they're able to extract Namine's heart. Which is a very important thing here, since we know that Sora's been bringing her through time and space to all these places on his road to rescuing her. And Riku arrives to take her away wherever they're going. I guess just to Destiny Islands. I could have gone without muting the last part, but this came in rather suddenly, and it's at this one that it transitions from the instrumental simple and clean to the new ending theme. Also, so much for order. They brought not only all of their companions, but the Twilight Town crew here as well. Pretty sad to have this scene without music, though. I feel sorry for the people watching. They can't have it. I have to say this is probably the worst of all of the Utada songs that they use for these soundtracks. It's interesting that they gave a brand new intro and ending song for it, but I guess that does show partially how much they wanted this to be. While they did, in the eyes of many people, fail somewhat, they did intend for it to be a major. They had been waiting for it for 15 years, and they had been trying to prepare it for 15 years, and many other distractions and stuff along the way, but they wanted it to be a big deal, which is one of the reasons why they released Remind. I should have used this opportunity to talk a bit about that, but we still have more of Remind to go, so it's still better after that. Now they even show these cutscenes again, just we forgot about them. Totally unchanged. I kind of think that they're a little bit unnecessary.
Finally, back where it belongs.
Because, I mean, again, they aren't changed at all. We pretty much know what happened here already. You have to win the game in order to see these scenes, so... Unless I think Yozora scene is one that requires a little bit of special stuff to see. So either higher difficulties or a certain amount of collection of certain things. I can't remember because all of my runs recently, my playthroughs have done that. I have beaten this game in a couple of different formats, like 6 times. But I don't think this one was secret.
Did you summon us back?
Yep.
Is that you, Lucio? You look different.
Odd that he says, though, that you look different when he's
Haven't
totally
heard that
covered
name
head
in
to
a
toe.
long while. These days they call me Zigbar, but hey, whatever suits you.
Is it really you?
Yeah, but some time ago I had to cast my old form away. Been through plenty more semblances since, but it's still me underneath it all.
What happened? Why are we here? You tell me!
I had a role to play. And after all these years, it's done.
What role?
I guess Ava didn't make it after all.
Meaning what?
I told her, clear as day, what it is I had to do.
And is that why you decided to exclude her?
As if. Ava had her own mission, and she carried it out.
I've heard enough! Lucio, what was your role?
I hope you like long stories.
So it gives us a chance to revisit this. I bet Ava was the girl who was found by Ansem the Wise and experimented on by young Xehanort. Before Ansem forbade it, and then Xigbar came and took her away to a place of safety. Or Braig as he was at the time, but in reality, of course, Lucio.
Oh, right.
What's this?
I heard about this new game.
Seven black pieces. And?
Just watch.
And now, of course, the Yozora over again. Yozora. Okay. So that is the base of Remind. And next, of course, is Limited Cut.